You know, life has this funny way of throwing curveballs at us, right? We've all been there. We have plans and hopes and dreams, and maybe they aren't happening as fast as we would like. So we get to feeling a little impatient, wanting things to happen on our own timeline and not necessarily on God's. Well, today's scripture finds Israel dealing with the consequences of their impatience. Let me read it to you. It says, "This is what the sovereign Lord, the Holy One of Israel, says. Only in returning to me and resting in me will you be saved. In quietness and confidence is your strength. But you would have none of it. You said, 'No, we will get our help from Egypt. They will give us swift horses for riding into battle.' But the only swiftness you're going to see is the swiftness of your enemies chasing you. One of them will chase 1,000 of you. 5 of them will make you all flee. You will be left like a lonely flagpole on a hill or a tattered banner on a distant mountaintop. So the Lord must wait for you to come to him so he can show you his love and compassion. For the Lord is a faithful God. Blessed are those who wait for his help." How often do we find ourselves in situations like the Israelites, looking for quick fixes and turning to other things or people instead of waiting on God's perfect timing? I had this picture in my head of what life would be like when I was growing up, probably informed mostly by TV and movies, but I always figured I would get married young, during college or shortly after, that I'd have kids and have the idyllic life with the white picket fence and the American dream, right? But things don't always or usually work out like that. The years went on, and the longer I was single, the more I felt like everyone around me was moving forward while I was stuck in this waiting season. Impatience crept in, and I wanted to make things happen. But then, in the midst of my waiting, I remember feeling like God was telling me to just trust him, to rest in his timing, and to find strength in knowing that he was walking beside me. But it wasn't wasted time waiting for God. It was actually time well spent because, see, waiting on God isn't about being passive. It's about trusting him and growing in him and allowing him to work in his perfect way and in his perfect timing. And spoiler alert, God came through just like he always does. And how things have worked out is beyond anything that I could have orchestrated on my own. What felt like a long wait turned out to be part of his grand plan, filled with lessons and growth. And if I had moved things forward myself and pushed my timing, I wouldn't have the wonderful life that I do now. So if you're in a waiting season right now, remember Isaiah's words. Return to God, rest in him, find strength in quietness and confidence. Waiting for God is not wasted time. It's an investment in a future filled with his promises.